So yeah, let's get started with a quick question. So out of all those data initiatives that you're probably running every day at SNCF, why did you choose to focus on getting the customer experience right? What was the reason why you wanted to focus on that at first?
Well, because we have a major issue and a key challenge before using Talend. Our customer data was a mess. We didn't have any single customer view. We had multiple data silos with low quality, and it was impacting our customer-centric communication and also the customer-centric programs. So it was generating a negative experience showing up in the survey and in the brand image. Besides those huge data problem, data disparate, the problem of volume, of quality, of accessibility also, we was impacting our customer and our business. We also had an issue internally with an inability to deploy new services quickly and efficiently because of this data issue, because it was too expensive in order to aggregate this data. So as SNCF operate in a highly competitive and a growing competitive industry, and we need to be able to pivot more dynamically in our operation, in our customer engagement, everywhere across the business and with healthy data.
Okay, so if I understand correctly what you just said, so you took an opportunity to collect data from various siloed operative system or applications, be able to bring that into a customer 360 architecture, but on top of that, putting the good care of the data quality, the good care of the meaning of the data, to be able to provide a bunch of services, such as providing short message that help when someone has a canceled a train or a change in schedule, so you can actually provide alternative routes, or even
exactly. This is the most important, the most powerful use case we were able to deploy recently in SNCF was to send a direct message, SMS message, to every single passenger in our high-speed train in order to handle their travel from the beginning to the end, and to get them the personalized information they need in their trip.
Okay, so I don't want to undermine our audience today, because if I my son who are listening to us today, he's a 10 years old kid, he will be saying like, okay, in the digital world, everything is as known is like those kind of things exist out of the box. Everybody receives text message when something gets wrong or something gets delayed. The Amazon package or gets delayed, you get a text message and so on. But in a nutshell, for those who are in this call and they are part of this enterprise digital world in computer and science, so we all know that it's more than complex than to achieve on that. So can you tell us about the key challenges that you probably have met before you started the initiative, and then walk us through kind of like how did you go step by step to kill those challenges one by one, and then get into the solution that has been very successful for you today?
The goal was to have a 360 customer view with Talend. First of all, we wanted to have healthy data, so aggregated data and data which can be exposed to our customer data in our CRM or in different business projects. So we firstly use a Talend product, a TL job, and then in 3 months, we were able to deploy a platform to expose this customer data. Then the IT team gained new insight about the value of the data, and believe it was a genuine challenge in our team culture and how data needs to be managed and used thanks to the Talend solution. So we decided to construct what we call technical asset, which can be seen as Lego bricks. You know, the little, your son knows the Lego, I think.
Yeah.
And now with this technical asset, which can be data asset, customer data asset, or different technical services with ESB architecture in Talend environment, we are able to build transversal product only by plugging those Lego bricks between each of them. So the Talend ecosystem of connection has made data integration possible. And we also feel that we have the technology to support our business and foreseeable future.
Okay, so if I rewind a little bit what you just said, so you used primarily the tool to actually bring that data into a single repository or a single view of the customer, and then to be able to actually achieve like some sort of like a framework for plug and play applications to be able to consume that data based on the new demand or based on the service.
That's exactly the IT vision we had, and the IT vision we share with our business.
And I heard you saying something. I really want to ask something about that. So a lot of people who are into those changes today or into those challenges today, most of the time they are looking at vendors, they are looking at system integrators, they are looking at tools to actually solve those issues. But you mentioned something which is also pretty critical for us in that discussion today is the culture. You had to change your mindset, or you have to bring that culture in your current group, that taking care of the health of the data at first might actually have a significant impact on the outcome. So can you tell us a bit more about that particular aspect, like the data health culture that you brought up into your teams?
Yes. So for this issue, our vision was to have a buy vision, was to take the right tool, and we choose Talend with these native connectors in order to be able to integrate our legacy system, but also with different technologies, but also more modern technologies as Salesforce and Kafka Queue, etc. So the most important thing in our vision to get healthy data and to integrate every different department in IT and business was to use reliable asset with reliable basement for that.
Okay, so and in our discussion in the past, you had a couple of we had a couple of discussions about some of the natural outcome that you get out of that modernization that you perform within this project. Like, can you tell us more about what did you get on top of already what the success was of this initiative?
Yes, in metrics, we can say that Talend permitted to us to have some more healthy data and also improve customer communication by collecting and aggregating customer traffic data, and in order to automate some script in Salesforce, for example. In sort of metric, we can say today we handle 20 million unified records in one single platform, which is called the customer platform in SNCF Voyages. And our vision was to be able to reuse those Lego bricks I told you just before, and we estimate that we observe a 90% saving in reusing those technical assets, saving in money in deployment programs. So it's very important for us in IT because we have to be reliable for our business, and it's also important for our business because they can ask us very important change, and they know that we have the basement to handle those changes. And we also measure 50% improvement to our customer message with timely information.
So if I understand, so you brought up these agile capabilities to build building block applications to plug into the system that you created with that healthy data that you manage. What kind of other experience have you been able to bring to your customers so far that was on top of that initial project of sending text message when something went wrong into the network?
Well, in last year, with the COVID-19 situation, we were able to reassure our customer about the sanitary condition in our high-speed trains prior to the end of lockdown in France, and it accelerates our ramp up in terms of train circulation on our network. So no train, almost no train was circulating during the lockdown. So we didn't know how the customer were asking to be back on the train. So with those different assets, we have the opportunity in order to reassure them and to reassure them about the sanitary situation in the transportation. And also in terms of reputation for reliability, we also measure thanks to different services such as abandoned edge luggage that powered with specific services in Thailand, that we gain 3 points of regularity in certain train station, which is tremendous in our business of railway and transportation.